Has anyone ever called you a Karen? Because that's what I'm going for right now.
Nobody ever has. But there's a first.
This is like, you are feeling that name.
I should have asked to speak to a manager. That's what I should have done.
It's none of our business. 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 It's none of our business.
Hey, Monica.
Hey, Amanda.
How was your week?
It's been interesting, but
Oh, God.
my week is always interesting. I feel like I always have such a shitload to dump on you. So you tell me how your week was first.
Okay. I think a couple episodes ago or last time we hung out, we were talking about how, like, I used to be kind of a psycho. Like,
Who used to be?
that's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I really prided myself on that I was maturing and, like, not losing my shit as often.
Oh, Amanda.
So just tell me if you'd be frustrated with this.
All right.
Like, if it's just me. Okay.
Okay.
So I looked at, like, my phone and internet. I have the bill set up so it just comes out of my Visa every month, right? Easy.
Yep.
I looked at it the other day and it was like $120 more than it normally is. So I said, oh, that's kind of weird. So I went and looked at the bill and all these, like, extra charges and shit was on there. Fuck. So I had to phone them.
Yep.
Which is already annoying. So
It's always annoying.
by the time you get a hold of somebody, I'm already like, oh my God. So I explained the situation and the guy goes, oh, okay. And it's one of those things where okay, let me put you on hold. And then I'm on hold for a few minutes and I'm okay with that. I expect to be on hold. Not that big of a deal. And he comes back and I hear clicking around and typing. He's like, oh, I'm just trying to find your account. Let me just put you on hold again. And all I'm thinking is like, how long does it take? Like, what are you seeing on your screen that, like, I need to be talking to you for 45 minutes and, like, we're getting nowhere and you just keep coming back and then putting me on hold. And okay. And I'm kind of sitting here like, this is friggin' frustrating, but it is what it is. And then while I have you on the phone, you have some outdated TV boxes. How about I send you new ones? It was like totally free. I said, perfect. I actually wanted that anyways. Great. Kate, you have 3 in your house. I'll send you 3. Perfect. Thank you very much for your help. He got my bill all sorted out. Everything is good. Get off the phone, get an email confirmation. The amount on the bill is like completely fucked. He didn't fix it. It was like giving me a confirmation of what my bill is going to be. And it's just like way too much. And I'm like, that's annoying. Like, I don't want to have to freaking call back and go through all this again. So I left it for a couple days. I'm like, I'll wait until the boxes come in. Boxes show up. There's only 2. Okay, well now I definitely have to phone. So I get on the phone. Actually, no, I did on the online thing. I requested a callback. So they call me. Great. I'm very excited. I get somebody. He goes, okay, this is good. Okay, your boxes, you only got 2. Let me just see here. Okay. And all I hear is like, click, click. He's like on the keyboard, like smashing the keys. And I'm like, that's fucking loud and annoying. I don't know why it was like irritating me. I was like starting to get like.
You're starting to have your tick. You're starting to do that thing you do.
He's like, oh, and it was taking him forever. Like I was probably 15 minutes into the call by this point, and he hadn't like given me an answer. Like he's just trying to find my account. And he's like, oh, I just can't find your account. I'm going to look for a different account. And I was like, what? I'm like, what are you seeing right now? What do you see on your screen? I couldn't stop myself. And I'm like, I got to tell you, man, like, I don't understand your process. Like why does it take so long just to come up with the screen? I ordered 3 boxes. You only sent me 2. What are you seeing? Do you see that 3 were sent? And I was just like screaming at this guy.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I'm very sorry about this. Like, and your other experience. Cause I was like, last time I was on the phone 45 minutes and we got nowhere. I was just like yelling at him. I know I shouldn't be yelling. I know I shouldn't be.
You know what? You shouldn't be allowed to talk on the phone.
I couldn't help it. So then he goes, okay, let me just figure this out here. He doesn't put me on hold. Instead, he like I don't know, like just
put you down,
has me there and he's just working. But all I hear is like him typing, but he's like an aggressive typer, like, and I lost it. I was like, listen, can you please put me on hold? I cannot listen to you type any more vigorously. Oh I'm trying to work too. Because I was like working at the same time while I was like dealing with this. I'm like, why do you have to type like that? What is wrong with you? Like I was actually yelling at him. I know.
You're like that person.
I know. And then
Did you make him cry?
So then he puts me on hold. And
Surprise.
never comes back.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised he didn't hang up on you.
For sure. He put me on hold. I ended up getting disconnected. Never got my problem solved. By this point, I'm vibrating because I'm like, I still don't have an answer. My bill is too high and I only have 2 boxes. It's fucking annoying.
You know what? Next time it happens, give me a call because I've got connections. To tell us. Greg's daughter works at the TELUS complaint department at the
God, don't
customers.
tell me that.
Yeah, I've got like direct line of communication. I can cut right through.
Karsten happened to be home that afternoon
Yeah.
and he like comes into the office and he sees me like vibrating and I'm like explaining to him what had just happened and he's just staring at me like, you're fucked. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
And meanwhile, I hear like the microwave going. I'm like, who else is in the house? His like coworker, like his employee
Gets to hear
guy.
your.
So Clayton comes around the corner and I'm like, and another thing. Like I was like sweating. I was so worked up about this. But I will say, like, I eventually got a hold of somebody else who was a normal human being and he was able to help me. And at the end of it, I'm like, I really appreciate your help. You're so good at your job. I gave him like a whole
I'll give you 5 stars.
I like gave him all these compliments to make up for me being a psycho. Like I was yelling at him about how aggressively he types. Like, what is wrong with me? I was like, I can't listen to you anymore. You're making me crazy.
You know, Amanda, I've worked with you before, as we know. And you know what? You're just like, I just want to pat you on the head. Like, you know, like, it's going to be all right.
But do you understand my frustration? Like, it's fucking annoying. Like, I'm wasting time out of my life.
So your frustration level, like, I see your frustration level is like a 10. And something like that would have frustrated me like a 2.5.
Why? It's my time. Like,
I know.
do you not value your time?
I do, but you just have to, like, grasshopper. You just need to, like, take a deep breath and let it go.
Like, you put me on hold, come back. Put me on hold, come back. And I had patience. I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is how
Has anyone ever called you a Karen? Because that's what I'm going for right now.
Nobody ever has. There's a first.
This is like, you know, you are feeling that name.
I should have asked to speak to a manager. That's what I should have done.
You know what? It is true. Because if you do call TELUS and ask to speak a supervisor, they do up your person.
But I just like, I didn't really want to, I just wanted the issue fixed. I'm like, look on your screen. Like, I understand how, like, I want to see the back end of their system. Like, what are you looking at? Why do you have to type in so many things? What are you fucking pounding?
Like, he's probably playing video games while he's talking to you. Because they're working from home right now.
Oh my God, this whole time?
Yeah. They're working from home. So you know what he was doing? He's playing Call of Duty or whatever. And he's like, yep, just...
Yeah, he's
I've
like,
got a mission. Because what else would he be clicking for?
I don't know. But the thing is, I think I'm very... This is another thing.
Angry?
That makes me a psycho.
I think you're very angry.
Okay, so Karsten and I both work from home often-ish.
Yeah.
We have 2 computers up in the office there. And the plan was so we could both kind of work at the same time. I cannot. I sit there while he's working and listening to him type. Like, it gets in my head so much. I'm like, there's no point having 2 computers here because there is 0% chance I will ever be able to work in the same room as you.
Can you work with music on?
I always have music on.
But can you put headphones in?
I was editing my other podcast, so I had like noise canceling headphones on, and all I could hear is him like typing, and I was like, why are you such an aggressive typer? Like, why do things like this make me crazy? What's wrong with me?
I don't know what's wrong with you. Something.
Like, it's like I need silence, but I don't really need silence. I just don't want aggressive typing. It's not normal.
What other sounds bother you?
Oh God.
Do you have like sound sensitivities? Like, we need to like. What was your childhood like, Amanda?
I don't know.
You're just a cunt.
When I say it all out loud, it really does make me sound terrible. But I don't care. I'm not changing. Just kidding.
This is why we're exactly the same. We're not the same.
So I'm an asshole is essentially what it was. That was my
Well, I think that you're not really an asshole. You were just having a moment of frustration because I've seen you in other situations where you weren't an asshole. I can't think of any right now, but like that one time when I asked you a question and you weren't an asshole, I cannot remember that time.
It just doesn't seem like that.
I think I actually called you the other day to ask you something, and you lost your mind. I don't even remember what it was.
No, I called you to follow up with
Oh,
something.
yeah. And
then I was like, the fuck, Monica? Honestly, I did feel bad about that, though. And that's why I called you back. And
see,
was like,
do you think that because you feel bad about your reactions makes you not an asshole? Like, so like if you are an asshole, like, so there's the assholes that are assholes who don't feel bad about their assholeness. And then there's the assholes like you who actually feel bad. So does that make you less of an asshole?
There's two parts to this because the way I talked to you, I definitely felt bad, but I was still kind of like, you should have known this. It was like, you know what I mean? And just like this tell us guy, I'm like,
yeah.
You should have fucking know. If people don't tell you you're stupid, not that I think you're stupid. But it's like, if people don't call you out for like behaving poorly, like we're all just gonna sit there and be like, oh god, okay, I'm on the phone with Telus. It's like I just want them to like walk me through what you're doing.
See, Greg and you are exactly the same. Like, are you the same type of person? You're driving in a car and this is Greg, get out of the fucking fast lane, and you know, like he does that. He drives behind the car and he's yelling at the cars. I'm like, they can't fucking hear you.
I actually don't do that with driving, and it makes me crazy when people do. So I don't know why. There's certain things I choose to be an asshole with. Like I don't It's
know. Like people need to know that they're doing it wrong, and I'm like, but do they? Because we all have our own like awarenesses. And so so here we are, like I am completely not spatially aware. So
what does that mean?
Okay, so what I mean is, so like Greg is incredibly spatial aware. So we are walking in a mall and he knows like where he is compared to everybody else, and if they're walking too slow and if they're walking too fast and if they cut you off. And I'm like kind of meandering and I'll cut people off while I walk.
Yeah, no, I'm like Greg.
And he's like reining me in, like constantly like pulling my arm or holding my hand so I don't like cut people off. And I'm like, it's fine. Nobody minds. He's like, and you see him like just doing what you're doing right now, like just doing that, like he's got a bit of a tick going on because I am like doing this, driving my shopping cart down, even, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, like sorry, bumping into people. That's me.
It makes me feel crazy right now.
Can you imagine being in a relationship with me? Okay, but here's the thing. Like I know this isn't what we're talking about, but it's hard to be in a relationship with a person like you.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm hard to be around.
And you could not have two people like you or two Gregs, because I mean, can you imagine two people of that intensity?
Oh my god.
Like this is what goes on in my life. So I am in the kitchen. I generally do all the cooking and I'm disaster making, you know, and whatever I do, I can see Greg is like doing that thing that you do.
He's sitting there going like, why would she do that? Like, what is she thinking? Right
Yeah.
now?
Like, so like I've got like this teacup with the David's tea and then the strainer, and then I take it and I stick it on the counter and then it gets wet. The counter gets wet. And he's like, why would you do that? Like when you could just put this in the sink. And I'm like, well, I'll just clean it up later. And he doesn't get it. And I think that you're exactly the same way. Like I feel like I go about my day, my life, sort of living in this cloud of, I'll just deal with it later. How did this get here? I don't know. Whereas you like, but your intensity, doesn't it give you anxiety?
100%. Like I felt shitty after getting off the phone with that guy.
You're way better to be like me. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but then you run into problems where you're like, oh, fuck. You know, like I'm just thinking of the work thing. It's like you would have been like, oh shit, like I didn't do that, and then it'd be last minute and you have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. How do we become like the happy medium?
It is hard to become like, so the person that you are is, I want to see like you have this attention to detail, like this, like you see shit, where I have to really work to like, oh, I have to like say to myself, I really need to pay more attention. And
I don't always though. Like
it's your nature to see things in more detail than me, whereas I just don't, and I have to like work on seeing the detail. Which is why I have this, I should totally be in the job that I'm doing, which is all attention to detail.
I like, after I do something like that and I like yell at somebody. Like, I don't want to be that person who's like yelling at a stranger on the phone.
No.
Like, it's not who I want to be. And like, often I will get in situations like that and I'll be like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Like, and I will let it go. It's like, but every once in a while, it's like, am like, I cannot handle this person's stupidity. I feel like they need I don't know. That's just not, it's not my job to call them out though. Like, why?
Well, and do you feel better after it's like when you lose your shit at your kids, right?
Yeah.
After you lose your shit and you feel yourself rising and freaking out and then you lose it, it's like an adrenaline rush. Like yelling at somebody gives you an adrenaline rush, which is why you do it. Why you yell at your kids. I'm not saying you yell at your kids, but if you do.
Look at me. What do you
Of course you do.
I'm like, sweetie, pick up your shoes.
That's not how you do it. I know you don't.
I fucking told you 1,000,000 times that's not where your shoes go.
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So the reason we do it is because it gives us a hit, right? Yeah. A hit of adrenaline, and that's why we do it. But you have to like stop it. And it is one of those things that you have to like talk to yourself and.
Yeah. I thought I was making progress.
Are you though?
No. Well, I can tell right now I'm not.
Well, I think
maybe compared to how it used to be.
I think when you're coming to child rearing and stuff, we talk about it, and so being aware of what you're doing. I mean, we all yell at our kids. Like, we can't help it. We just have to try not to. Fuck, whatever. Fuck. I'm sorry, your life sucks.
It's not my life. I suck.
You suck. Sorry, you suck.
Did you do anything this week that I can critique you for?
I'm sure. So something that happened to me this week, which is kind of crazy, is, how we've been talking about, like, you've known my whole life where I lived on Texada and then I married John and then we built that fucking concrete house and then it sat there and then this is moving the story really quickly. John died. And then I became executor of his estate. Well, I put the dome up for sale, this giant concrete building.
Yeah, because the listeners don't know the dome.
Yeah.
So explain to us what the dome is.
Okay, so I got married to this guy, and I got married to John, and he decided, and I loved it. I love the idea that we were going to move to an island, and that he wanted to build this giant concrete dome. So it looks like a dome, like 3 domes put together. And we like bought the property, and then you build this dome out of rebar and concrete, and then you like shotcrete, like you spray it like a cement park would do it, like the same, like a skateboard park. Like you build it like that. And in it was 40 round window holes. We never actually did get the glass to put in it. Like it's there, but it's beside the building. And so we lived there. Like it took about a year to build the actual structure. And then it just sat there. And it sat there and it sat there and it sat there. And John was an incredible procrastinator. And so the dome never got built. And so this is the difference between, so this is the negative side of what we were just talking about, where how you were like, you are over excitable.
I feel like we never would have got to the point of that, because I'd be like, how are you going to get the windows in?
Yeah. And he would tell you, but it just never happened. And for me, I'm like, oh, well, like maybe next year. And then, the whole thing of having like way too much patience and understanding with somebody totally fucks you over. And in this case, it did me. Like we lived in a mobile home beside the concrete dome for as long as we lived there. And we were there 13 years or something. So we built it. And then this structure sat there and it was on a half-acre piece of land, like a beautiful piece of land. And you could see the ocean from it. Like not directly, but if you stood on top of it. So like, there's the ocean, like kind of like that. Yeah. And I loved the dome. Like the whole idea of the concept of it really fucking rocked my world. Like when you go in there and be like, this is the kitchen and these are the bedrooms and this is this. And we're gonna like the whole idea for us was it was going to incorporate a lot of the outside stuff, like a lot of rock, a lot of wood, a lot of like, love the fucking idea of the dome. So John had this idea in his head, like this was going to be his legacy. Like he wanted to leave it for the kids.
Yeah.
And even like, I'm going to say 6 months before he died, he said to the kids, well, if I die, do you want this? And John, he's like, Dad, what am I going to do with this unfinished dome? And he's like, what? I'm going to finish it, was what he said. And so I think that putting it on the market, there was a lot of guilt.
Okay, so you did put it on the market.
Put it on the market. I talked to the kids about it because they're the ones who will get the money, because me and John were separated for 9 years or something. So the money will just go to the kids. But so there was a lot of discussion, and Amanda especially didn't want to sell it because it's her dad's legacy. Like it's, like I would often refer to it as John's monument to himself. Yeah. Like imagine going into this little tiny town and you see this large, and like people called it the hippo because it was like a dome like this, and then it had balconies up here, and it really did look like a hippopotamus looking at it from the front. Yeah. So it became the thing. Like it was a town sort of monument, or like they'd say, well, where do you live? You're like, oh, we're 2 blocks from the dome. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, have you ever seen that concrete dome? Like, yeah, I know the one you mean. Right?
Okay, so did it end up selling?
It sold like before it even hit MLS.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does somebody want it for the dome, or are they going to knock it down?
Well, interestingly enough, the person who bought it they live directly behind the dome, so they own this piece of property, the one beside it, and they just wanted like basically the whole block.
I don't know if that got picked up on the camera, but there's something happening upstairs.
You got monsters upstairs. So it sold. So first of all, the real estate agent was like, oh, properties on Texada, they are selling quickly, but you should sell it for, he should sell it for $85,000 is what the lot, like that's what the lot value is. You're not going to get anything for that structure. Someone's going to rip it down. And then I was talking to my son, and he's like, no, like let's start at 120. And I'm like, okay, I'll, like gonna humor him. Yeah. Well, long story short, it sold for 110 in like 2 days.
So do you think they're going to keep it the dome?
Oh, they said they would.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I didn't think they would. And then the real estate agent said, oh, there's another offer coming in, and they will keep the structure. They're going to turn it into a Airbnb. And I'm like, oh, we would rather go with the other one, but this bid was already in. And so, but the guy said, oh, no, I'm going to keep the building too. And I'm like, really? Like, wow.
You'll have to give us an update as things progress to see if they actually do.
Because, I mean, it's been up there for this long. Like, I think the guy's he's probably going to take his time. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah. It was like there was a mobile home on that lot, the mobile home that I lived in, and it was so rotten you couldn't even walk in there. Like it was like the floors had rotted, like it was in bad shape. And so I'm thinking, even moving that, live on an island. So to get that off the, like, what do you do with a rotten mobile home? Like, I don't even know.
Just to dispose of it. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Throw it in the ocean.
Do you bury it? Like
that? Yeah. How do you get rid of that kind of stuff?
Like, I think somebody said you're going to have to get a bin and get someone to crush it, or, you know what I mean? Like rip it down with an excavator. And, but the mobile home was filled with washer and dryer and wood stove, and like it was beds, like it was still filled with shit. So like unloading this like that quickly, and the property was a disaster, like as far as the lawn hadn't been cut, and you know what I mean, like so there's bamboo and blackberry, and like it was just a disaster. It was a disaster. So letting it go was like, it was a relief, like and at the same time, a little bit of sadness,
I can see that. Like, that was a big part of your life for a long time.
Like, it's sort of like the ending of a dream for, and it's not fair to carry on somebody's dream. It's not fair that somebody puts that on you, but it still happens, like, and I think that we've talked about before about me feeling responsible for John's happiness. We talked about that in Amanda's podcast. Anyone who hasn't seen that, I'm sure we all have. And so, there is a bit of, I don't want to say guilt, but maybe maybe a bit of guilt.
Yeah, I can, because if he was still around, or if he knew that you had sold it, how would he react?
He would be devastated.
So, and you know that, so that's why you feel sad about it, because you're like,
he could not let that thing go for nothing. Like, this was his, like, he hadn't lived there for 9 years and was still, like, we talked about John before, and he was not able to function properly. Like, he wasn't able to carry a permanent job or anything, but he was still able to make the mortgage payment on that every month, which means that this is something that he really cared about. Like, this was his, he was, you know, like,
his
even
legacy.
6 months before he died, he had actually said to me, like, if I finish this dome, will you move back? Like,
holy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, he was
guilt. You're gonna start having dreams about it, I bet.
Oh, I dream about this shit all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy. But if you think about now, your kids are gonna have a nice chunk of money.
Yeah.
So that'll be good for them.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
So you know what? This just shows that I'm a good person and you're not.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Monica.
You know what? We should start wearing like black and white. Like, and
like
maybe I'm gonna,
and
and I'm gonna start wearing wings. I'm not actually that good of a person.
Okay, I want to hear some of your dirt.
Amanda, are your boobs getting bigger?
It's because I'm getting fatter.
But are you really getting fatter?
100%. Like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Nobody cares about fat I'm getting.
No, we just want to see your boobs because they're looking great. I'm liking them.
Okay, next episode I'll wear something with a little more cleavage for you.
Would you?
Of course. Whatever you want. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do for you. I just want to keep you happy.
Really? I'm going to make a list then. I would like chocolate here and wine and
I have chocolate and wine. If you want some, I will.
You know what? I'm all with you about the whole fatty McFat. Like, I'm just so over being fat, and you know what? I'm over it.
I'm over it too, but I don't want to make any changes to my lifestyle, so I don't really know what the answer is. Because like,
you know that whole saying, you can't outrun your fork, meaning you can't eat as whatever you want unless you're running a marathon, because then you can really eat a lot.
Then you have to learn to like running. Like, I can't run more than like 10 minutes without hating my life.
No.
My body can physically do it, but like my brain makes me stop because I'm fucking bored. Unless I'm outside.
Yeah.
Outside I will, because I have to get home. Like, I'm not just going to walk home.
Yeah.
But like, if I run on a treadmill, if I make it 10 minutes, oh my God.
I agree. It's like, you don't know what's longer, a treadmill minute or a microwave minute.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You ever run on a treadmill and you're like, oh, fuck, I've been on here for an hour, and you look, it's like 30 seconds. Like, it's seriously terrible.
And I used to like kind of cover it with a towel sometimes.
So you didn't see?
And then I'd like peek and be like, it's been 4 minutes. I hate it. I don't know. I hate people who can just like drink and eat and do it. Like, because I feel like I eat pretty good, especially during the day, during the week. Like, I eat very well. But then, you know, I'll have like some chocolate out of the kids' Halloween bag, and then I'll have some wine, but I work out every day. Like, why doesn't that balance out? Okay,
so me and Amanda were doing this thing like last year, like almost exactly at this time.
Me and you, or me and your daughter?
No, me and you.
About me, like...
Me and you were doing this thing. Like, I'm talking to the camera. That's why I say me and Amanda. Right? I'm not just talking to you.
Well, I thought that's what we were doing here, but that's fine. Talk to them, those people.
So we did this thing, and you said, oh, there's a challenge at the gym, and it was like a 30-day challenge, and I'm like, and I was going, I'm so fucking fat, I don't know why, and you're like, we're going to be accountable, and we're going to go to the gym every day, and I'm like, fine, I can do 30 days, and nothing is going to change. Well, I think I dropped 15 to 20 pounds in, 6 months, and I was like, holy fuck, because you were saying, you know, Monica, you're probably eating more calories than you think you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And so then we went on those fitness apps, and you write down all your calories. And it was incredible, the amount of calories that I was eating unintentionally. Like, for me, I love nuts. And so for lunch, I would often have a cup of nuts.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my lunch, and I'm so healthy. But that's like 600 calories.
Yeah.
So
if you're not moving enough to burn that off, then
Yeah, but it's almost impossible
Yeah.
to move that much. You know, that's an extra like hour running when I can just eat a chicken breast
Yeah,
or
I
something
know.
instead. And so we all know, like, why can't I just run it off? Well, because I was exercising every day at that time too, and I just gave up, and like, look at me, I'm right back there to where we were.
I don't know. It is what it is. At this point, I'm like, fuck me. Like, I'll just keep plugging away. I don't know. I'm not.
You're not willing to commit. You're not
I'm
willing.
too
You're not willing to
depressed.
commit.
COVID's changed me. I'm like, fuck me. Like, I don't even leave the house anymore. Like, I'm like, who am I?
God, who
It's
are
true.
you?
Like, this whole COVID thing has changed. I used to be like, you know, always out and about and blah, blah, blah. Now, like, working from home,
I know.
I have anxiety when I leave my neighborhood. Like, who am I becoming? I don't know. Like, I'm like, what? I have to go to Midnapore? Like, it's snowing out. Like, no, I'm not. Like, it's fucked. That never used to be like me. I don't know what's
Okay,
going on.
like today, like I actually got up, took a shower, and did my hair and put some makeup on. But normally I'm just in my pajamas every day, all day.
Yeah.
Well, pajamas, workout clothes, go work out, pajamas back on.
Yeah.
that's what they
Like,
do.
I don't wear makeup anymore ever.
No.
Like,
No.
my hair, I don't remember the last time I used a blow dryer.
You are my social outing.
Perfect.
I should just move in here. Then I could
Should.
just.
Then we would get a lot of episodes out. Imagine the content. It would be great.
There'd be like shit being thrown around. You'd be yelling at me all the fucking time.
I live with 2 kids in Karsten. Like, it can't be any worse.
Me and your kids would get along so well. We'd make such a mess together.
That'd be so fun. Okay, so what's going on?
So for our episode this month of this
Week?
for our episode this week of What the Fuck, I found something. So you ready?
You got a good what the fuck?
I got a good what the fuck, exactly. Ladies, I am in disagreement with my 18-year-old daughter. During her life, I've worked full-time at a very stressful job to support my family and her dance lessons. She has several crowns from the Nutcracker ballet roles, and I'm planning to dress up as a queen for Halloween tomorrow while I hand out the candy, and I was planning to borrow one of these crowns. But when I mentioned it to her, she refused and set a boundary, saying that no one can wear these crowns. I'm so hurt that she doesn't trust me not to wear one for just a few hours in my home. After all the work and sacrifices I made for the past 15 years for her, even to be given the opportunity to be in this position to get one of these crowns, she keeps saying that she did the work to earn them and keeps saying, so did I. And I keep saying, so did I. Well, she has just come in with a compromise and is willing to lend me a tiara that she wore when she was Sleeping Beauty. I'm happy she offered me something to put on my head. I still don't understand why the Nutcracker ones are off limit. Any opinions on the situation or confronting words of wisdom or comforting words of wisdoms to share would be appreciated. Thanks. Being a single mom is hard.
I think that daughter is a dick.
Really?
Like, you don't?
No.
Okay, but the mom paid for those. The mom, the only reason she was able to be in dance was because her mom sacrificed. Have a little bit of like respect for, like, it's in your, unless your mom is like known to be somebody who destroys things or is like, I don't know, a sloppy drunken mess who's gonna snap it or something. Like, let your mom wear your fucking crown. Like, what?
But what? She's feeling like she's entitled to it.
I don't
Like,
think
if you...
She wants to borrow it for a couple hours. That's not a, like, I wear it to the grocery store. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you had something and you felt like these were your treasures, so you know, dancing is really important to her. She has these things. She has them on a shelf. They are her thing. They are her thing to say, this is what I want, and they belong on the shelf. And all of a sudden the mom's like, I feel entitled that I should be able to wear them because I worked for them. I'm like, no, fuck bitch, you didn't. Like, they belong to your daughter. Like, why do you feel entitled to your kid's shit? Like, come on. Like,
It's different because my kids are young, but like you're, I don't know. I feel like maybe more of a communist mentality here. Like, what's mine is yours. It's the family's. Like, it's for a couple hours. It's not like she's like, I want it and I'm gonna like keep it in my room on a shelf because it belongs to me. No, I'm gonna borrow it for a couple hours. Like, I don't know. Like, think of it. I just find it crazy that this daughter is even not like, why is this even an issue?
Why can the daughter not set a boundary and saying, this is really important to me, I don't want to share this?
I guess
why can't you?
Well, I guess she can, but it's not going to change the fact that it's hurting her mom's feelings and everything her mom did for her. I don't know.
She gave her fucking Sleeping Beauty tiara. But the daughter did have a compromise, obviously out of guilt or whatever.
I feel like the daughter is a brat, like a brat.
Well, she probably is. And for me, if I had all these crowns, like, shit like this doesn't mean anything to me. But what if it does to you? What about your son Colton, who seems to be like a super sensitive kid? What if he had something that like was super meaningful to him and he's like, I don't want anyone to touch these, I love these.
Yeah.
And then you decide, wow, I need this for my Halloween costume, whatever it is.
I do see what you're saying if it's that important, but I don't know. Why can't she just share with her mom? I guess another thing is like, why did her mom just expect her to? Fair enough.
Like, why can't the mom just go to Walmart and get a fucking tiara if you want one?
Maybe
for your
because she was
costume?
living vicariously through her daughter this whole time and she wished she could have done it. So she's like, this is finally my chance to wear the crown.
What kind of mom wants to be sleeping or wants to be a queen or a princess on Halloween and give out candy anyways?
The mom who wanted to be one her whole life and never got to, and then that's why she put her daughter in it. It's like those pageant moms.
Do you ever watch those? I used to love that show. Those
The
toddlers and tiaras. Like, it was my guilty pleasure. Like, Greg would be like, I can't believe you're watching that show.
It's one of those like car wreck things.
It is,
though.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
look away.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you doing this?
But
and
it's the mom that you're going, what the fuck? Because like, they'd even put like fake teeth in their babies. You know what I mean? I can't remember the name of the teeth, but they clip them in.
Yeah, flappers
right?
or something.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah. And they would put makeup and hair, and you'd see the kids having a fit. They didn't want to do it. And so, like, if you're that mom, and maybe this bitch is that mom.
She might be. Like, she could be like, this was my one chance to finally wear it. And
I just feel so angry at the entitlement. That's how I feel. I feel like you fucking believe that whatever your daughter owns, you own.
Okay, yeah, like, I do see what you're saying. Fair enough.
Okay, I see the other side too, but I guess it, maybe I'm living like my own feeling, and I know that if somebody felt entitled to my things, I would feel angry.
Yeah. I think originally I was thinking more like, what does it matter? Like, why can't you just share? Like, I don't know. I think just because like so far in our family, it's kind of like when we get the kids something, it's for you to share. Like, whether like they just got a bunch of stuff from Kirsten's mom, but it's like she got it from one of the people she works for. So it's a bag of girl toys essentially. So they would be for McKenna, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not just giving her a bag of stuff and nothing for Colton. So I said, Colton, like, this is for both of you. This heart-shaped pillow and this pink whatever, like, it's for both of you. And he doesn't really care. So this is for both of them. Like, that's just the way that I've kind of like raised my kids. Like, everything, and like we do things as a family.
But this isn't a gift.
No,
this
I know.
This is a trophy. So
you're right. If she worked for it.
If your son had got a trophy in soccer because he was the best soccer player
you have to let
in
McKenna
the
keep
world,
it in her room for 1 week.
Would you let McKenna play with it, or would you say, I would really like to have this trophy for my Halloween costume?
No, you're right. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's not just like it is. There's more of a symbol to it.
It's just something that this young girl who's only 18 years old values as hers.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, if you feel like it is yours, I mean, we don't share our shit with our kids, like the things that we value. We don't.
Yeah.
What if I said I want to use your car? Mine's broken. T-boned a car this week.
Yeah. Monica's on the road again. Everybody be worried. Yeah, fair enough. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm right again. No.
I have a what the fuck too.
Oh, awesome. Let's hear it.
Okay. I like this theme of the what the fucks. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do it.
Where we give advice that nobody wants to hear.
I feel like our advice is really good, though.
I love actually the fact that we definitely we're not on the same page. Like, when I said to you, like, oh, God, what the fuck, I want to talk about this. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a good one. And I assume that, well, we obviously think exactly the same, but we almost never do. We almost always see it differently.
Okay. This is kind of a weird one that I just don't really get. So
okay.
I'm a middle-aged, happily married woman with a wonderful husband. We have a relationship that others spend their lives trying to find, and we're both extremely grateful for our many blessings. I'm not social, and I'm not conscious of my appearance. I never wear makeup. I'm a jeans and t-shirt type of woman. Also, I'm a bit overweight. Given all of that, why do men continually try to hit on me and chat me up? I grew up with 2 older brothers and have a history of having platonic male friends of all types throughout my life. I guess I don't fit the typical girly stereotypes. I talk about my wonderful life and relationship with my husband, and it doesn't seem to stop these men from hitting on me. What am I doing wrong, and why me?
Oh my God.
I hate her.
Right?
I mostly just wanted to read it because I'm like, who writes into like an advice columnist asking that? Like,
people she's writing it to say, like, look at me, how beautiful I am.
Except I'm a frumpy, overweight jeans and t-shirt person, but people still love me. It must be my personality.
Obviously, she's not frumpy at all. Like, she's generally men hit on you.
Or what if men aren't really hitting on her? They're just like, oh, hi, ma'am. Like, would you like to sit at the table? Or like, it's like the server.
It's just general conversation, and she sees it as, because she didn't actually go into how people hit on you.
No.
So she's either full of shit and they're not hitting on her, or she's beautiful and they're hitting on her, and she's like, I don't know why. It's, she's probably one of those blonde hair, blue-eyed Jennies who's just, I don't know.
I just think anybody who considers themselves good looking, I have a friend, actually, I was just thinking of this. It's actually Kirsten's cousin was saying that she was hanging out with this girl who was talking about how she gets hit on all the time. And she's like, maybe it's because I'm so pretty. And when she told me that story, I was like, who says that about themselves? Like, isn't that a fucked up thing to say?
Well, it's interesting because, like, why can't we say that about ourselves? Like, I know what you're saying, which is like, well, who would call themselves pretty? Because we live in a world where we just talk shit about ourselves.
Fair enough. Like, it is, and body positivity and love who you are and everything. But going around being like, people hit on me all the time because I'm so pretty. Like, that's don't you, like.
It is. And why though? Let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Why? So if I said to you, Amanda, men are hitting on me all the time, and obviously it's because I'm so hot. Like,
interesting. Okay, I just had a thought.
Okay,
though, because
what?
if you changed that and you said, I've been getting hit on a lot, I think it's because I'm really funny, I wouldn't judge you the same.
Yeah.
So why would I judge you for saying that you're pretty? But like, you're like, we're allowed to consider ourselves smart, funny, interesting.
Yeah.
But calling ourselves pretty or beautiful is wrong.
Yeah, interesting. Like, it's I know what you mean, because when you say it, I get this like, who the hell do you think you are? You're not pretty, bitch. Yeah. I'm way prettier than you. Whoever you
Even
are.
If you are, you're beautiful, but like, you're not allowed to like know
you're not allowed to say it.
Yeah.
But don't you think that when you're hot, you gotta know?
Well, yeah.
You gotta know.
Oh, because people treat you differently when you're good looking.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't know.
Okay.
You have to pretend you're not.
So, I talk about my weight all the time, right? So I've been on the full spectrum of like 300 pounds. Nobody looks at you. Barely. You're not going to get the door open for you when you're that weight. Like, it's just, you're invisible. And I've been to that state where I'm like a size 9, a size 8, and you're wearing the skinny jeans and you're fucking hot and athletic, and you were treated completely different. And I know.
Does that have to do with the confidence you have in yourself, though?
No.
Okay. Oh,
No.
I guess because you always have confidence.
No.
Even.
And not only that, but I've also done things like in my younger years, like bleached my hair blonde. Like the more sleazy, feminine you look, the more men pay attention to you. And I mean, it is what women would call their power, you know?
Yeah.
And when you have it, so when I was hot, I'm
still hot.
I know. But when I'm at my peak hotness, when I'm at my thinnest and prettiest and, I know because men treat you differently. Women treat you differently too.
Yeah, everybody does.
Women want to be your friend. Men all want to fuck you. And then you're just like, why does everybody want to fuck me?
And then you're right into advice column.
Maybe it was me. No, it wasn't me.
It's funny though, because even like, there's this whole thing going around right now, and it's like, when you talk to your daughter, don't be like, you're so beautiful. Like, make sure you also say things like, you're so smart and whatever, so she doesn't only put value on being beautiful, right? But I can't help it. I'm like, McKenna, you're so beautiful. So now she goes around all the time and she'd be like, Mommy, do I look beautiful? I think I look beautiful today. And I'm like, I want you to have that confidence in yourself, but I don't want you going through your life and being like, I'm beautiful. Like, it's like, so when are you allowed to say it? When are you not?
You are, because... And it wouldn't really matter what your daughter looked like, whether, because your daughter is a cute little girl, but what if she was an overweight, fat little girl? Yeah. You also need to say, you're beautiful. And I know it's not the right thing to say, but I think it is. Yeah. Like giving, here's my parenting tip of the day, but kids, your kids' friends and society is going to shit on them their whole life. They're going to say not enough, not good enough. And your job as a mom is to say beautiful, smart, you got this. And whatever that means, that whatever you got this is. But why the fuck then can't we just say that to ourselves? Like, why is it okay for your daughter who's 3? Four to say I'm pretty, and you're like, yes, you are. So why can't I say I'm pretty, Amanda?
I don't know, because I have no.
Tell me I'm pretty.
You're fine. Just kidding. You're beautiful and you're smart and
you're not. Funny. You're stupid.
See, okay. Would you rather be the smartest person in the room, the funniest person in the room, or the best looking person in the room? Like if there's a room of...
Can I get like a percentage?
No.
Like a pie chart.
No.
I want a pie chart.
Okay, fine. Give me a pie chart.
Okay, I want like 60 beautiful.
Oh.
And then I can't calculate the rest because I'm beautiful and not smart enough to figure out the rest of the pie chart.
You have 40%
2020.
left.
2020.
That 20% funny means you're like a dud.
Oh, fuck,
and 20%,
you're right. Oh, you're right.
20% smart means you're like a dud.
Oh.
Yeah, and 60% means you're average. So you're like a shitty person nobody wants to...
Okay.
60% beautiful is like...
80. Okay, I'm 80% pretty.
So you value looks over personality. I don't believe that. I think you're full of it right now.
But I don't want to be ugly.
But if
and neither do you. Look, we just finished this fucking conversation and I'm so fat and I work on all the time. And I got big boobs. None of that is because I want people to look at me and go, oh, you're so smart.
That's a fucked up thing too. Like, isn't it? Because women have to be good looking or you get nowhere in life. Men.
Isn't that fucked?
Men, they can be smart, funny, rich, which rich usually comes from being smart.
Yeah.
Or charismatic or whatever. Like charisma. You could be a very bad looking guy and you will look so good to me if you're funny. You can make me laugh.
I agree.
You're like smooth.
I agree.
But a woman, you can't get by with a good personality as a woman. Like,
okay. And so, as I'm getting older, like that becomes a thing too. Like the whole thing about staying youthful. Like I look at all these TV stars with their plumped up fake fucking lips and shit. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do that, but I don't want to look old either. And so I'm at that precipice of like, do I start going for injections and fucking fillers and stuff just to look like... Because why? Because you're valued more when you're beautiful and people take you seriously.
All the guys that I know in my real life are like, I prefer women who are natural, don't get shit done. But who are they jerking off to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you say that.
Yeah.
But who do you actually find attractive? Like,
Yeah.
who, at the end of the day, when you open your laptop or your phone,
Yeah.
you're going on Pornhub,
You're not looking at the old lady, are you?
Karen.
Because look at Monica. She's got a great personality.
Totally. She's so funny. And that's fucking bullshit because I've been working on my personality my whole life.
You have not. This is why people like you. It's not your fucking personality. It's your boobs.
Oh, I've only just got those, man. Oh, that's why people like me more now.
Yeah. Is your personality, has your popularity increased? Have men treated you any differently since you got new boobs?
I haven't noticed, honestly.
Okay, well, here's the thing about you. So there are people with boobs, and like I see them in the gym. I see the boob gym in the gym, and they wear like really low cut things or really see through things, and you've never done that. And you've always been a boob cover upper, and I'm waiting for you to let them out.
For those of you who don't know, and maybe we'll do a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
I got my boobs done 2 years ago. I didn't do it so I could show them off. I did it so I could look at myself naked and like them. Like that's why I did it. And I do actually feel like I still haven't really fully grown into them or like accepted them. Like I haven't even got bras that are like perfect for them yet. And like literally they're 2 years old.
You got old boobs now.
No, they're old boobs. But I just like, I didn't get them so I could be like, show them all. You know what I mean? Like, so I
you just want to look good naked.
I do. I did. That's what, because, you know, I put a lot of effort into working on my body, especially back when I got them. I was like 20 pounds later then. So I'm like, that's the one thing about my body I can't change, you know, by diet or exercise.
I know.
So
no judgment.
So now, and there's a whole separate thing. Like if you go listen to my podcast, I did an episode with somebody about breast implant illness, and now it's all in my head, and I'm like, maybe that's why I can't lose weight because I have breast implant illness.
No, you eat too much fucking chocolate. That's why you can't lose weight.
What about the wine? Let's put some ownership on that.
You know, there's a booze thing. Okay, so like I'm good all week long, and then Friday, Saturday I drink, and I can gain 5 pounds from. Like I can lose 5 pounds during the week and then gain it all back on the weekend just from drinking it.
Do you ever go like a Friday night without having a drink?
No.
Yeah, me either. And like I definitely have in my life, but most of the time, by the time I get to Friday,
I don't want to.
I know, like we'll say, okay, we're not going to drink this week or whatever. But
maybe I can go Friday without eating any food and then just drink.
It's just something about like to end the week with a nice drink, or even like we've been making cocktails, like so, like it's just
so
fun.
Nice.
It's like a nice way to end the week and like. I don't know.
Like I don't drink during the week. Do you drink during the week?
I do sometimes, but not as often. Mm-hmm. Like I did last night. Because it was my birthday.
Poor.
I definitely got one drunk last night.
Happy birthday.
It was like 10:30 at night, and because I was on a FaceTime call down here, I had a couple glasses of wine. Like we went for dinner, so then I also had some wine then. And Kirsten wasn't feeling that good, so I drank his wine. Like I was definitely like feeling it. 10:30 at night, I go upstairs and realized I hadn't made Colton his lunch yet, and I was like, "Fuck me!" You know, this is the last thing I want to do right now. Like this is why you don't drink during the week.
What is it about wine? I don't know. Do you do this too? I start drinking. Once that bottle is gone, and I'm like, if I say crack open a new bottle, I am fucked because I'm going to drink that second bottle, and I don't have the ability to say this is enough.
This makes me happy that I'm not alone in that, because that is for sure my issue. And the problem is, and especially with COVID, is I live right next door to a good friend of mine, so we kind of have been cohorting together this whole time. So we spend a lot of time playing cards on the weekend and stuff. And when you're at home, I have unlimited wine here because I buy it when it's on sale. We just stock up. So it's like, you never run out. So it's like, should we open another bottle? Yeah. Nobody has to drive.
The answer is always yes.
No. Yeah, exactly. Nobody has to drive. It's not like we're going anywhere. Like, you know, it's COVID. Like there's nothing fucking going on. Why not? And then you wake up and you're like,
why did I do that?
But then there's people like Karsten who can... He's like, I'm buzzed, I'm good. He'll just stop. Like, and Sean's the same way. Aaron's like, it's like us. We get into the wine and we're just like, another bottle, fill her up. It's
so I drink whiskey often on the weekend, right? So me and Greg sit down and drink whiskey, and I drink if I don't get that drunk on whiskey. Like I do the same thing. Oh yeah, I got a buzz, I'm good.
Yeah.
But wine, I think so I drink the whiskey with Coke, and so you're drinking like this.
Yeah.
And so by the time you drink 4 of them, you're just done drinking.
Yeah, because it's like
because there's
Coke is
so
full
much
filling.
fluid. But wine,
It's a really good point. It'd be like if you're, I see.
and they just like wine tastes so good,
know.
and it tastes so good in your mouth.
So good.
Oh, and chocolate and wine together. Oh, and you know what I also love? Chocolate or licorice and wine. Have you ever done that? Like a little bit of red licorice. Like it is like fucking orgasmic.
Interesting. Like just
Yeah.
Twizzlers?
Yeah. Like red wine and Twizzlers. Like I know, like it's a thing, and I haven't done it in
It's
a while.
a thing. Like it's not something you create.
Well,
Like,
maybe I did create it, but it's like
Doritos and wine you were talking about last time. That's weird.
I did Doritos. No,
I was asking last time we recorded, you were saying something. I was like, oh, I'm into the wine. You're like, what about the Doritos? And I thought you meant like eat them together. And I was like, that's weird.
No, I don't know why I said that. I'm not a Doritos eater. I'm far prettier and classier. Back to that full circle. Why are we? That's what we were talking about. Is like I don't like the bitch who wrote that in and to say it because you're like I don't know. Like it does make you feel that.
But if she said, and I keep going back to this. If she was like I have no issue with somebody admitting that they think they're smart or that they think they're funny. So what's the difference? I don't know. It's like our culture is like you're not allowed to call yourself pretty.
No, but I don't believe people are hitting on her.
Yeah. Her personality sucks.
Yeah, we just don't like her.
If you're the kind of person who's going to write into an advice article asking about that, there's something fucked in your head.
Yeah, that's right. Like, and that's the issue.
What the fuck?
Like, what the fuck? Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to It's Really None of Our Business podcast with Monica and Amanda. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you know all the places. If you've enjoyed this podcast, tell your friends, and please rate and review us where you can. If you are brave enough to reach out and ask us for advice, we will definitely read it out on our show. We'll totally keep your name anonymous, so what do you got to lose? You can reach us by email at ask.noneofourbusiness@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Ciao.